Greetings to all and welcome. On this occasion, I want to address a topic of great relevance: anxiety, a disorder with considerable recurrence that currently affects a significant number of individuals. During the course of this video, we will have the opportunity to explore in depth the Stoic perspective on anxiety, and additionally, we will examine various techniques that I have personally experienced that have proven to be highly effective in dealing with this problem. I cordially invite you, before continuing, to subscribe to the channel and activate the alert notification so that you do not miss any content of interest. Throughout our journey through life, we frequently encounter unpleasant situations that can generate a considerable degree of emotional suffering. These situations can range from the death of loved ones and health conditions, to the loss of effective relationships or job dismissal. However, it is important to emphasize that these experiences, difficult as they may be, constitute crucial challenges that test our ability to face adversity. On a personal note, I can share that my own bout with anxiety manifested itself exactly 4 years ago. Before facing this challenge, I was convinced of my ability to handle any awkward situation that came my way. However, there came a time in my life when I was confronted with intense emotional anguish that, unfortunately, I could not control. After a year of relying on medication to keep my anxiety attacks at bay, I finally made the decision that I couldn't continue in that state. I had clear reasons. First, I wanted to regain my well-being without being dependent on substances. Second, he longed to experience again the serenity and tranquility he had once known. And third, I perceived this situation as a personal challenge that I wanted to overcome. At that critical moment in my existence, I was introduced to the world of Stoicism, a philosophical current that provided me with the necessary tools to learn how to properly manage my emotions. Although I faced moments of difficulty and faced challenges that caused me to regress in my progress, I finally managed to gain control over the anxiety that had plagued my life. To this day, I am pleased to report that 3 years have passed since I last experienced anxiety, and during this period I have not required any medication to maintain my emotional well-being. If you find yourself in a situation similar to the one I was in, I sincerely hope that the content of this video is valuable to you and can bring you some degree of relief. Now, I will proceed to share with you the specific strategies and techniques that I adopted in my path to overcoming anxiety. It is important to emphasize that Stoicism should not be considered as a therapy in itself, but as a philosophy of life that, while it can provide significant support, requires time and dedication to achieve substantial results. It is often likened to an endurance race in which each individual must decide if they are willing to embark on this challenging path. Anxiety, at its core, is an irrational fear of the future. In other words, it is the uncertainty and stress about what will happen in the future that causes anxiety in our mind and body. The Stoics, with their unique perspective, advocate minimizing the importance of the past and the future, and instead focusing fully on the present. They argue that the past can no longer be changed and that the future has not yet arrived, which makes worrying about it a meaningless activity. This deep and fundamental understanding turns out to be the crucial first step towards effectively understanding and controlling the anxiety that afflicts us so much. In the words of Seneca, there are 2 elements that must be completely eradicated from our lives: the fear of future suffering and the constant memory of past suffering. For him, the second of these elements no longer has any impact on his mind, and the first has not yet managed to affect him. These approaches form the pillars on which the necessary base is built to start the effective management of anxiety. The first technique that we will address is the so-called premeditatio malorum, which involves mentally immersing yourself in the possibility that our most feared fears will materialize. This strategy allows us to gradually expose ourselves to what makes us anxious, which gradually desensitizes our emotional reaction. Often, by imagining ourselves facing the worst and reflecting on it, we discover that the situation is not as disastrous as we initially envisioned. In this sense, it is useful to ask ourselves, is what I am experiencing really so catastrophic? What lessons might emerge if what I fear so much came true? Is there any evidence of people who have overcome situations similar to mine? The second Stoic technique is known as the control dichotomy. This approach encourages us to reflect carefully on what is effectively under our control and, in contrast, what is outside of our influence. On many occasions, we tend to worry about situations that we simply cannot change, which leads us to a vicious circle of anxiety. For example, considering the inevitability of death can generate anxiety. However, it is essential to recognize that this is a natural reality that we will all face eventually. In this context, it is worth asking ourselves, do I have the ability to change the situation that currently causes me anguish? If the answer is affirmative, it is crucial to direct our efforts towards the transformation of said circumstance. However, if the answer is negative, an even more important question arises: why should I suffer for what is beyond my control? Recognizing this distinction between what we can change and what we must accept provides us with a healthy perspective in dealing with anxiety. We will continue with the third technique, which involves the practice of meditation. Although meditation is not exclusive to Stoicism and has been used in various cultural traditions, in this context it is used to connect with the present and alleviate anxiety. By focusing on the breath and moving away from frenzied future thinking, we create a space of calm that counteracts anxiety. Visualizing a serene place while concentrating on our breathing can foster a sense of inner calm and reduce anxiety levels. The fourth Stoic technique that we will explore is the concept of working through discomfort. According to the Stoic philosophy, personal growth arises precisely in uncomfortable situations, since it is these circumstances that urge us to improve. How might this idea be relevant to managing anxiety? I can personally attest that challenging experiences, such as taking cold showers, can help connect with the present and distract the mind from future concerns. Voluntarily facing uncomfortable situations also promotes personal discipline and promotes relaxation. Finally, it is possible to appreciate that these four tools share common objectives. On the one hand, they seek to help us understand the true relevance of the problems that trigger anxiety, and on the other, they encourage the dismissal of the future in favor of concentrating on the present. With constant practice of these techniques, over time it is possible to gain stronger control over the mind in times of anxiety. Also, I want to extend an invitation to share your own experiences and techniques in the comments. Anxiety is an experience that can be dealt with in a variety of ways, and each individual may have a unique perspective on how to approach it. Through the exchange of advice and experiences, we can learn from each other and provide support to those who are going through similar situations. However, it is crucial to remember that Stoicism can not only be valuable in the fight against anxiety, but also offers a wide repertoire of tools and reflections that can be applied in various aspects of our lives. For this reason, I encourage you to continue exploring and deepening this philosophy. I end here for the moment. Until next time.